a washing machine, chibet a keva kafa kella, alzim elamaza. And then at the right moment, somebody in shul makes mamish the right comment, you know, the knife, put it in and then twirl it 10 times. And he tells you, Kaveh el Hashem. He's what's doing. Where's Kushner? He's eating a chalupta. You know what a chalupta is? The Litvaks know what a chalupta is? You'll never know. It's a stuffed cabbage, or the Eibishter Eisim. The Hungarian Jews think it's good. They call it Einig Yomtiv. Why beats me? Ich leid mach ad hayon. He's eating a chalupta. The liquid is reading from this. Emin betachin. Emin betachin. Wow. You have to be in your mother's arms. You're always in your mother's arms. That's how I can have stability in life. My life is not the same. Kulon shavim l'toiva by Sarah doesn't mean she was always in the same place. She was kidnapped. For 90 years she waited. Shavim, kulam shavim l'toiva. What, Sarah got married at the age of 17? At the age of 19 she had 3 kids? At the age of 32 she became a baba? I saw an interview with a Satma lady from Williamsburg. Some newspaper interviewed her. They asked her, so they came to visit her, so she was, committing Hayamoyas, preparing for Shabbos. They say, are you ever jealous of women in Manhattan? She says, what? They say, she wakes up 8 o'clock in the morning, she gets dressed, she has a suitcase, an attaché case, she's a judge. You're at home here, preparing for Shabbos. Feminism. She said, I'm jealous. I'm jealous. What does that lady have? She's a judge. Everybody's fighting with her. He says, you come here tomorrow night. She says, Friday night. 60 grandchildren worshiping me. Sonny Mainu had that. What's Kulam Shavim L'Toiva? Kulam Shavim, really Shavim? For 90 years she didn't have a life. What's Shavim L'Toiva? Of course it wasn't Shavim. It was Kulam Shavim L'Toiva. They were Shavim in the Nekuda of Dveikus. They weren't Shavim, it was the same. Shavim in the Nekuda of Toiva. She was always in the moment knowing my mother may be going down a roller coaster. My father may be going down, but I'm in their arms. Sometimes he tells me the Dveikus is through not davening. It's a different type of Dveikus. I don't know what type of Dveikus it is. Aye mekan kvoida. Maybe he's an aye.
Who's Mr. Williams?
Point 3, Shalom Bayis. This I'm going to say, Bekitz and Nimrit, everybody here is very intelligent, much more than I am. You'll get it right away, especially the Ezra's Nashim. Here's the facts. These experiences in life can destroy a marriage, or they can create the deepest marriage possible. In life, sometimes we don't have choices. In this situation, Shalom Bayis is always critical. Without Shalom Bayis, a home is a terrible place to be. If there's no trust in the home, if there's no positive energy in the home, there's no Shechina Shruya, it's not a bad place you want to be. There's Yidden who stay in the Beis Medrash, Ad Chatzos Halayla. People think they're mamish mahada to be at all the shiurim. Ich weiß doch, they don't want to go home. Somebody once asked me, the Gemara says, Yaakov tikkun tefillas arvis. Why did Yaakov do Ma'arev? Ma'arev is the first tefillah, should have been Avraham. I said, Poshet. Yaakov came home. You know what Leah told him? Reuven has a virus. Shimon has an earache. Levi has an infection. Yehuda terrorizes the whole house. You give Yisachar a bath. He hasn't had a bath in 3 weeks. Yaakov would have geschrei, you have been Ma'arev. Yaakov, of course. I would also be Masakin Tfilas Arvis. The best thing that ever happened to many people. A shreit Ma'arev. Let's face it, many people in this room don't have that. You see each other day in and day out, and there's no smoke screens. You can't say this. There's so many distractions in life. And the way a couple can either build their relationship or chas v'shalom, the opposite, is very, very sensitive. But in these situations, I know from the little experience I have, the agmas nefesh, the stress, the pain, the tears, nobody else knows about it. Even this Shabbos, many of you, you compose yourself. You fart, you balabata sheyidin. But you know, mima'amakim, shiramalis mima'amakim, Hashem shima bikoili. Says the Balatanya, not Hashem shima likoili. Hashem shima bikoili. Likoili means listen to my voice. Bikoili is listen what's in my voice. We can listen to what people are saying. We have to hear what people are not saying. Shima bikoili. Only you know the bikoili. And when you connect, you can either an experience like this can tear a couple apart. They get upset at each other. You don't understand me. You're not here for me. You have your friends. You run away. You go to work. You have this, you have that, you have that. What about me? I have to go through this. I can't speak. I take my shoes off my feet. But I also know the opposite. And that is that there are couples that created the deepest dveikus. That they're mamish carrying each other together. How do you do that? One word. Non-stop honest communication. Communication. Man darf reden zusammen, man darf weinen zusammen, man darf lachen zusammen. You have to giggle together, cry together, but together. This doesn't mean you don't have disagreements. This doesn't mean you don't get into bad moods. This doesn't mean you don't have issues you have to work out. Oh, you came to our Rov, I want to get. Now. Wer will nicht? The Chacham of America, will I get? Really? I saw a young man the other day learning Masechta Gittin. He was an Amoritz Minat, he never opened a Gemara in his life. I say, what's happened? He says, Neshama upon him Spasayim. Of course, listen, a man and a woman sinish poshet. In the best of situations, we know that. There's a reason that in the secular world there's 50-60% Rachmana litzlan divorce. A woman comes so she wants a get. He says, Gemara gittin daf tzadik kol ha-megadish ishti yeshoin ha-mizbayach moira the love the most. The mizbayach cries. She says, 30 years I'm crying. Let the mizbayach cry. I asked the guy, how's Shalom Bayis? He says, we got engaged. She thought I was mamish Rabbi Kiva. So she let me doing all the talking. And she did the listening. We got married. She decided I'm not mamish Rabbi Kiva. So she started to do all the talking. And I started to do all the listening. I say, Moshe, now? He says, now, 12 years later, we both do all of the talking and the neighbors do all of the listening. That there's going to be chilukei deis, of course. The husband says, I'm sick and tired of going to this guy. I'm not looking at his face again. But the wife likes it. There's going to be chilukei deis, normal. But communicate. Medaf reden. You have to connect. You have to look into the eyes. You have to be there for each other. You have to empathize. You have to validate. Don't judge, validate. Because you need each other. You can't do this on your own. You're on a journey together. Other people, everyone needs it, but other people can get away with it. For a while, they could make distractions. He's running here, my life here, everything is busyness. Again, don't be part of the circle. You have to know where your food is. The relationship between a husband and a wife in this situation is pivotal. One can't even describe how pivotal it is. And it's difficult. Men suffer silently. Women suffer also silently, but also not silently. Men and women are two creatures. A guy comes to me, mechitza, disgusting. I say, really, which book on relationships do you like? He says, men are from Mars, women are from Venus. I says, you know, the separation between Mars and Venus is millions of miles more than the Mechitza. But that's good for you. That's good for you. It's different creatures, different people. Here's the Seder. A man comes home from work, not everybody, most of them. You ask him, how was your day? Men don't like talking about their day. We have a philosophy. It was hard enough being in the day. Have to talk about it too. That's our philosophy. Genug, once is enough. I'm not going to now go make chazuras hashir. This guy did this, he said this, I thought this, so he said this, so I went this, so he said this, so I sent the text, so he said this, so he said this. A woman has an opposite philosophy. I had a day, chazuras hashir. Darf ich bechaz, aber nicht einmal. What's einmal chazorah? L'chol ha'poches 9 mal. Once with your sister, second time with the other sister, third time with your mother, fourth time with yourself, fifth time you try your husband, he falls asleep. After 9 times, and each time you laugh and you cry, you laugh and you cry. Now you could start your night. We have a different philosophy. What should I tell you? We like talking about iPhones. iPhones, sushi. We're not complicated. We don't like talking about, it was a stressful day. I don't know what stress is. Enough. I had stress. Leave me alone. It's good when you laugh about, but you have to learn this. You have to learn this. I always say, al pi Kabbalah, men are waffles, women are spaghetti. Waffles, you know what waffles are? Each waffle is a meriba b'fnei atzmo. It's a square. Spaghetti, jede chit, every strand is interconnected with hundreds of pastas. Sie geknippt und gebinden von jeder Seite. That's how it is. Our brain is divided into filing cabinets, folders. We have a folder called the car, a folder called the house, a folder called the shviger, a folder called the wife, a folder called the job, a folder called shir, a folder called Yiddishkeit, everything. If there's a problem in the house, we go to our filing cabinet, we take it out, we make sure not to touch any other folder, we take it out, we look at it. Usually we don't do anything, sometimes we deal with it, we put it back. And in the middle we have a big folder in our brain, most of the way it says nothing. And we love hanging out there. You ask your husband, how are you feeling today? What are you feeling from what Rabbi Jacobson said? Nothing. You think he's lying. You come to me after, he doesn't communicate. He communicates. We feel nothing. We love hanging out in that place called nothing. In fact, if we wouldn't have to bring on panusa, we would stay there. There's no answer that makes a woman as meshuga as telling her nothing. You know why? Because their brain is like the World Wide Web. Before they answered it. It's spaghetti. Everything is out. Women, nothing. Her heart is alive, chayv, 24 hours a day, and everything is connected. Life is one mitzias achdus. So you come home from the Shabbaton tomorrow night. You tell your wife, no, what's on your mind? You sit down on the couch, wow, she's so happy. She starts talking. The first 8 seconds she discusses the dress that the cleaners ruined. You take out your folder, cleaners, dress. 20 seconds, she discusses leak in the house. 35 seconds, doesn't like her job. 45 seconds, issue with her sister-in-law. It's now a minute and a half. She already dealt with 30 subjects. You're opening and closing filing cabinets. Cleaners to the house, to the job, the shvige, bar mitzvah, sheva bruchas chassid, Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, sickness, cleaning help, whatever it is, celebrity confreda. This doctor, that, everything has a different file. So you're going like this, and see that. And you're looking at her, but in your brain she doesn't realize that your mom is doing bezayas apecha teicha lecha. It's now 3 minutes, she covered 250 subjects, and she's just beginning. And you're schlepping back and forth, and you're about, your brain is about to explode. You can't. How many folders can you open within 2 minutes? The natural thing for you to do at that moment is kill yourself. The problem is, you love your wife too much. See, you don't want to make her an almana, she has enough tzaddis. So you do the second best option. You fall asleep. You see him falling asleep, what do you think? He's such a narcissist. He's so selfish. I thought this Shabbaton made him a bissel a mensch. He's sleeping on me. Little do you know the reason he's sleeping and snoring is because of the Ava Gedoyla that he asked his wife, because the only other option was suicide. Rabbi say. Rabbi say, if you can always laugh about this, like you're laughing now, that's how you create a happy home. We have to be able to laugh from each other, with each other, respect our differences, be able to laugh at our differences, but learn to trust each other. Trust, communication is the key. No, Shalom Bayis doesn't solve all the issues here. We know that. But it's a different mahalach. When there's Shalom Bayis, it's a different mahalach. And then, my dear friends, we spoke about individuality, knowing your food outside of the circle and respecting it. Gvula is chalak HaKadosh Baruch Hu ba'olama. The Kotzker Rebbe's vart is always the best vart in the world. You all know it. Some of you know it. Ich bin nicht, weil du bist du und du bist du, weil ich bin nicht dich und du bist nicht du. Ich bin nicht, weil ich bin nicht und du bist du, weil du bist du. Bin ich und du bist du. Jetzt kann man schmieren. That's my Yosef. You understand? Don't worry, I also didn't understand. If I am I because you are you and you are you because I am not I and you are not you. But if I am I because I am I and you are you because you are you, then I am I and you are you. And now we can have a relationship. Let me tell you what Rabbi said. This is true about every person. But in the situation of many people in this room, it's pikuach nefesh. Don't define your you by somebody else's you. Ever. Ever. You're not allowed to. Respect gvulois chalak HaKadosh Baruch Hu ba'olama. This works for you, and you have to be able to tell your sister, your shviger, your brother, your father, your nephew, your niece, the closest people that you love, you taka love. Thank you, but this is not for me. Why? You're gonna have so much fun. We're gonna drink latte. You have to know. Thank you. Cordial, respectful, but gvulos. Gvulos. And let's face it, in the Charedische world, boundaries don't come easy. It's a beautiful thing, but sometimes it's not good. Ein day is saying shuvas. Ein parts of in shuvas. That's also part of Kedusha. Gvula is chalak HaKadosh Baruch Hu Moshe told Kairach. There's Koyanim, there's Leviim, there's Israelim, there's men, there's women, there's me, there's you. There's moments of oneness and there's moments of individuality. It's not so easy for all of us. Guy says, come! You're not going to show up to Wachnacht. You're not his friend anymore. You know what? You have to know who's a real friend and who's an acquaintance. Not everybody is your best friend in the world. Doesn't say that everybody is my best friend. I'm nice to everybody. I respect everybody. I'm cordial to everybody. Not everybody is my confidant. You know what a confidant is? Not everybody is my best friend. Not everybody. I have to have boundaries. It's so important. You can't go to a place and then you don't know how to leave. A Rav once asked me, he says, how do you do it? I told him you have to learn one chosh. You have to learn how to be by a simcha for 4 minutes. He says, how? I say, you walk in, head table, yeah? You look at the chassan in the eyes. Don't take out your phone. You look the chassan in the eyes. You give him the warmest bracha in the world, be'emes. You go to the father. You go to this. Give him 4 minutes, but real, with the ganze. But you know what? If I stay there till 3 o'clock in the morning, I come home. I'm not a person anymore. I can't be here for my wife. I can't be here for my neshama. I can't be here for myself. I can't be here for God. I can't be here for anybody else. I have to be here in my life. Avos Yisrael doesn't mean hefkeris. Avos Yisrael doesn't mean no boundaries. Number 2, life happens now. We don't cope now. We thrive now. Rabbi Yochanan Rish Lakish. Hamachadish betuvoy, says the Baal Shem Tov, b'chol rega v'rega. Now. Reb Zusha Reb Elimelech, Reb Chaim Shmulevich. Now I'm in the hands. Kulam shalom l'tov. Number 3, the need for real communication. And finally, there's one nakuda I want to share with you. The Maisa, I saw it many years ago. It touched me so deeply. It tells the story of life. There was a boy, 10-year-old boy, who was in a car accident. He lost his left arm. It was such a pity on him, 10 years old, whole life changes. His parents needed something to give him an outlet for dignity. They found a Japanese master of martial arts to teach him a very known form of martial arts from Japan known as judo. It's a very sophisticated form of fighting. And it takes a lot of seichel and skill and wisdom. And this Japanese master says he could be matzliach without one arm. And he goes for training. Months and months and months, he's teaching him one move. After 3 months, 4 months, he turns and says, Master, the same move? He looks at him and he says, this is the only move you're going to need to know in your life. Perfect it. 2 years, perfect it. Discipline. The Japanese have discipline. And then he says, the day is coming, you're going to get into the ring, the competition is going to begin. And remember, the person you're fighting has 2 arms. Remember, fight well. It's a competition. He's a kid with 2 arms. He's a kid with 1 arm. Beats him up. He's bleeding, he's wounded, he falls again. And the Japanese, go back. The referee comes to the master and says, Habrachmanis. Well, now you say Habrachmanis in Japan. What are you doing to this kid? He's not made to fight. The master says, no, go back. It's already late in the day. And the poor kid is bruised up. He says, you continue. His opponent is also trained and skilled and has 2 arms. But he's so confident. He makes a mistake. He relaxes. That moment, the boy without the arm sees he could make that move. That move he could make. He makes that move and he knocks his opponent out. He wins. Obviously, he feels like $1 billion. His parents, such a special moment. He's on the way home. He turns to the Japanese master, says, Yilnadaini Rabbaini. Teach me, my master. How How did I win? How does a boy with one arm win against a boy with two arms? He looked at him and he said, I was teaching you for 2 years one move. You know why I was teaching you that one move? Because the only known defense that your opponent has against that move is grabbing your left arm. And that's why I knew you're going to win. Because there's no defense against it. I read the story and I thought to myself, isn't this what all of Yiddishkeit is about? We look at our lives, and most of us say our whole lives, Shamnu, Bagadnu, Gazalnu, Chatisi, Avisi, Pashati, I'm missing this, I'm missing that, I'm missing that. B'shoigig, b'maizid, b'didbu, b'maisa, Gilgal Zel, Gilgal Acher. Tzad HaShaveh, I'm a bad apple. Especially when I look at other experiences in my life. We have very few answers in life. But here is a perspective that this master understood. What sometimes a person could look at his life and see, it's the biggest chisaron, it's the biggest churban. But somehow that's the story that gives him his greatest ability and shlichus of nitzachim. So I got up in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and I said this before Yom Kippur to a tzibur of hundreds of Jews, most of them secular Jews, and the title was Forgiving Yourself, Forgiving Others, and Forgiving Hashem. And I spoke about this. And I said, look at your life and look at all the things that you're missing. And instead of telling yourself how bad, this allows you to do a move that brings you to the place you have to be in this world. I don't know what that place is, trust me. But I know, don't be a victim, because you're missing that. You can make a move that nobody else in the world could make. Why he was chosen, ich weiß nicht. But I know you can make a move that nobody else could make. That's why you were created. I finished my drasha. The olam gives applause. Shame, Zayir Shame. I'm feeling